I'm never a BC daily. Yeah, I know. Right. Okay, so what is the plan? So I haven't got a proper name for it at the moment. It's literally just Midventures Classic WoW Community Project. If you've got any ideas for it, that is more than welcome to hear it. So what it is, it's going to be community focused, a fresh start on WoW, promoting exploration, a slower pace, and some kind of roleplay elements as well. And it was inspired by a few things. It was inspired by some negative things in the community and some positive things in the community. The negative things being a lot of just negative thoughts and communications within the subreddits and the forums. A lot of just like people really getting on each other and the classic community as a whole, and like how horrible everyone is to each other and stuff like that. And I know from experience that that is definitely part of the game, but not like it's not as major as people would like to think. And my thought was like, well, as a sort of a creator in the space and as a community in the space, we should therefore try and strive to like try and make something a bit positive for people to come, because there will be people who want to play without all of the sort of hardcore, I don't mean hardcore the game type, I mean, you know, that kind of mindset, sweaty kind of gameplay, and just sort of chill and have a good time. And I wanted to create that space. So yeah, that's where the sort of some of the negative things came from. But the positive things came from other content creators who have created amazing communities within themselves. And the major one of that being Guzu with his current Sod Season of Discovery fresh reroll thing that he's been doing with some other creators, and he's, you know, made a really cool healthy space there in a game mode that people thought was like dead. And Jamie, thank you for the sub. The very first sub on Twitch doesn't seem to be working on OBS, whereas it's the YouTube ones. But thank you for that. I will fix that for future streams. But very much appreciated. Basically, what they were doing, they took their time. They locked their XP at different points, did content, and then moved on. Now, we're not going to be doing that because, firstly, you can't lock your XP in in your in TBC. That doesn't come till later. Oh, I think I just got the alert in my ears. Okay, yeah, I think that may have. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Jamie. This mic is so sensitive. I turn it up just a little bit. There we go. Okay. But I'll talk a bit later about what I'm planning on doing in terms of phases. But we'll keep going. So this is basically sort of the 5 things that I was thinking of when sort of doing this idea. Firstly, it being community first, so we're going to focus on building a close-knit, supportive community. We've done that before. We did that with Feeling Cute when TBC came out. You know, we've got the usual suspects there, Jamie, Gaia, Kay, people like that, you know, who I play WoW with regularly. But kind of opening that up to the wider Midventures community. We're obviously a much bigger community than we were back then. You know, we've like doubled in size to like over 1,000 subs, so there's more people who like we can possibly play with. And I really just like that idea of being a little community of like we can log on and we know that there's people that we can play with at any time. You know, I will be playing this characters off stream as well. I'm going to have a stream character, I'm going to have a non-stream character, so you know, we can play off stream as well and stuff like that. It's just building that kind of group of people that can be like supportive and have a good time with and are super serious about the game and the likes. That doesn't mean you can't go and do raids and things like that. It's just at the moment it's not the main focus. Joy is the second one. That is the main thing that I've been thinking about recently. It's the main word that's been sort of in my head, and it's to play the game in a way that sort of makes it be a bit more joyful, because what I keep seeing, the phrase I keep seeing is optimizing the joy or optimizing the fun out of the game, whereas people you know, they want to solve the game and complete the game in such a way that all the fun comes out of it and it just becomes this big chase of numbers. I want to try and play in a way that is more about, like, I don't know, if items drop, it's actually exactly, Jamie, it's not for it to feel like a chore. One way I'm going to be doing that, and there is going to be a rules section at the end. They're not hard and fast rules. They're more ways that I'm going to be playing the game. If you guys want to change and not play that way, that is fine. The whole point of this is to, you know, allow people to play in any ways that they want. I'm going to be less reliant on the auction house because I guess that we're taking some inspirations from hardcore self-found kind of stuff. Obviously, we're not playing on a hardcore server, but there are aspects of hardcore that I enjoy without the one life stuff. The reliance on the world, the fact that you have to go out and find things, the fact that, you know, everything that you equip you've either made or that you've discovered. I really like that, and I think it's better than just going to the auction house every 5 or 6 levels, just buying a whole new suite of gear and then just going again and to, you know, for the next bit and then just repeating that over and over. That can be fun, and being like a, you know, overpowered Giga Chad is cool, but I want to be excited by drops in the world, by drops in dungeons and stuff like that, and craft my own gear and stuff like that. So that's one thing I'm going to be doing. Third is pace. We're not going to try and rush. End game isn't the current goal. We will get to end game eventually, obviously we will. It's about enjoying the journey and exploring the world. We'll get onto exploration in a bit. While we're talking about pace, I'm going to talk about the phases. Obviously, we're in TBC Anniversary. Now, I'm going to be 100% with you guys. TBC Anniversary wasn't my first pick. I voted as well in that poll. I voted for Classic Era. We're going to do TBC because I'm a man of the people. And I'm still excited for TBC, and I am excited for if it goes to Wrath as well. That would be very fun. What I don't want to do is get to level 58, jump straight into Outland, and just forget the old world. Now, I've got a slide on this in a moment, but we're going to try and focus a little bit on the old world stuff more as well, and do some of that and not just skip it. I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, it's going to be a nice chill pace. We will eventually get to top level. There we can look at doing some raids and stuff like that, but it's not the main focus of this playthrough. Anniversary Wrath, yeah, Jamie, is what I'm very excited for. Wrath back in 09, was it? 08, 09, was my favourite time in WoW. I love Classic and TBC, but in terms of actually how much that I played and what I achieved in the game, like, Wrath was like my favourite. And I missed Classic Wrath back in 2020, 2021. So I'm really excited for that. Fourth, roleplay. Now, I'm not talking about we're all going to make a big character with a big background and we're going to talk in character all the time. I'm not talking roleplay in that sense. If people want to do that, that's fine. I'm more talking about putting the role-playing game aspects back into MMORPG, which means maybe using a weapon that you think looks cool but isn't optimized for like your current level. Maybe it's, you know, you could be getting a bit more DPS out of it, but it looks awesome. Maybe you want to make like a Blade Master Orc who doesn't have a chest piece on. Now you're going to be taking more damage, but maybe that looks cool. Things like that. Not just having your character just be like this paper doll that you dress up and put weapons on, but like an actual like sort of breathing character with a bit of, you know, if you want a bit of a backstory, that's cool. But, you know, just not focus on optimization, but like the character itself. Once again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is just what I'm going to be trying to do. I was hoping that the voiceover IP proximity chat would work in TBC Classic. It doesn't look like it does, because I thought that would have been super fun. I've currently been watching Guzu's OnlyFans playthrough of when he, you know, back when was it last year or the year before, OnlyFans season 2. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, I know it sounds a lot like OnlyFans. It's not. OnlyFans was a hardcore Twitch sort of initiative where loads of streamers got together and played hardcore together. But they had voice over IP proximity chat, so within the guild, you want? I'm sure you can find some of that online. So if you went past someone within the guild, you could speak to them, and there were really interesting little interactions there. Sadly, that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But yeah. And then finally, exploration. Try and get lost again. Go to areas that you don't usually go to. It's going to be... I'm going to kind of get that naturally, because I haven't played loads and loads of Horde leveling content over my years. And while we're on this, I'm going to talk about... an add-on. I've been speaking to Jamie, who's in chat at the moment. He's a moderator of the channel, friend of the channel, and fellow content creator, and friend of mine. He's also a programmer and has written some add-ons for WoW in the past. He did the Oathbound challenge that Misty Mountain Gaming is currently doing a playthrough of, if you want to go check that out. I've been picking his brain about creating an add-on that could sort of promote exploration. So you'll get points or an achievement for going somewhere interesting and maybe doing a certain thing, to kind of promote that and get that sort of dopamine hit of like doing something, things like that. Maybe doing a dungeon together in a whole group. Nick. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, I would have, like I said, I would have preferred Era, to be honest. But we can still have fun, and we can still do the Era stuff. That is one thing I want to make clear. Maybe in the next bit? I'm going to go to the next bit. Oh yeah, Realm and Faction. Exactly, stuff like that. There'll be fun little interesting things you can do, and you can get points for it. So yeah, thank you, Jamie, for that. Now, obviously, Jamie's got to program that and make that, so, that's not going to be ready yet. At the moment, I'm using an add-on called Classic Achievements, and it just brings the achievements module from Wrath into Classic. So you get achievements for doing guild run, for doing dungeon runs and stuff like that. So I'm using that at the moment to try and sort of track my character's progress. There's an add-on called Hardcore Achievements. That is obviously an achievement place for hardcore playthroughs. That is really interesting, where you'll get points for like doing Hogger at level 8 instead of level 10 and stuff like that. And there's like a leaderboard. That is something I looked at as well, maybe considering, but I tried to run it, and I don't think it's very well optimized at the moment. I was reading there was a lot of it causes a lot of crashes and a lot of LUA errors and stuff. So, but something like that in the future would be cool. Anyway, we're on Thunderstrike EU PvE. The reason we're on PvE and not PvP is because, well, while World PvP can be fun, these realms are progressed. There are loads of top levels, loads of level 70s, and you know what they love to do? They love to go camp lower levels and grief other lower levels, and that is not super fun. I'm obviously only a small streamer, but you're still gonna get stream sniping, and if things continue and we grow and get bigger, it'll only get worse. So yeah, we're on Thunderstrike EU, and we're playing Horde because at heart I am an Alliance Andy. I've played, most of my playthroughs have been Alliance. And it's time for something new. This also plays into the core idea of the project. I know less about hardcore in the leveling journey, so there'll be more to explore and discover. I know this won't apply to anyone, and I'm being a bit selfish in this point, but there it is. I'm the streamer. So rules in quotation marks is not really rules. This is more guidelines of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to read the dungeon quest lines. I might try and read like a fair amount of the quests actually, but I want to understand the lore of when we're going into a dungeon, why we're going in there. Obviously, there's a whole story around the Masons Guild in Dead Mines. Now, that's more of an alliance quest. But, you know, things like why are we going into Wailing Caverns? Why are we going to all these different places? And just have a bit more of an understanding of that. Use the auction house to sell things, not buy things. That is something I'm self-imposing on myself. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. The reason I'm allowing selling is because I like, you know, it's cool to make money. And, you know, I think probably it's max level. I'll probably buy mats if, you know, I probably will need to buy mats, you know, for like high level stuff. I'm more talking about buying gear and, you know, stuff like that to like give myself a power boost. I'd rather use drops in the world, things that I've crafted myself, dungeon drops, and the likes. Try to focus on professions. I'm so bad at focusing on professions. I want to try and do that this time. So we're going to make, you know, I'm hopefully going to have a crafting profession and a gathering profession. And, yeah, use that to make my character sort of more rounded out. Big thing, be helpful to fellow players, positive in general chat, and kind to new players. Just want anyone who's going to be under the banner of this playthrough to be a positive influence on the server. Just give me one moment while Louis barks. Yeah, Louis a rebel, he hates rule. There we go. Sorry, it was a package being dropped off, and yeah, so he was actually barking at something for once. And finally, use the achievements add-on to find cool things to do. And that's about it, really. Finally, hold on. Outland and Beyond. So I don't want to rush into Outland and forget the old world. I'm aiming to hit 60 in the old world and do some endgame classic dungeons to collect some decent loot and gear. I want to have entering the Dark Portal feel like an important thing, not just a case of, okay, I'm level 58. I've just done... Oh, Blair, thank you. Oh, it would be amazing if you could join. But I hope you at least watch and sort of feel like you can be part of it through that. So I want the Dark Portal to feel a bit like, I don't know, something like a bit of a guild event that we can eventually do together, and in a sort of kind of roleplay kind of way. In that, I don't want to ding level 58 killing some undead in Eastern Plaguelands and then go, right, it's time to go to space. I'd like it if we then, like, I don't know, kind of RP'd it as like, okay, we need to gather materials and get some good gear, and then we can go through together. Now, I know, yeah, we've got to suspend disbelief a bit, because, yes, you're going to go through the Dark Portal, you're probably going to do about 5 quests, and you're going to replace half of that gear. But, you know, it's fun. And also, the level 60 dungeons in Classic are fucking awesome. You know, we can do LBRS, UBRS, all the Dire Moles, Skollo, Strathome. I think it would be really fun. That's what I would like to do. And by the sounds of it, there are people who want to play like some of the classic era stuff as well. I don't think it will be possible, sadly, to do any raids at 60. I don't think so. I don't think there'll be people interested in it. And we'd need 40 people. But we can at least do some of the 5-man and 10-man stuff. That would be ideal. And that's it. So, yeah, that obviously that's my YouTube, my Twitch, and the Discord. You'll know. Oh, Jamie, if you could put that into the add-on, that would be great. So that's everything. Obviously, you probably know these links if you're currently watching this, but I just wanted to put those there. Okay. With that, I'm going to launch WoW, and we're going to look at character creation. So I'm just going to...